know, went too far. We take things way too far. We accept too much into our lives, and we really need to put a stop to it. It took me that horrifying experience and experiences through the years to realize I needed to be more choosy. I had to be careful what I take in. I have to be careful what I let my children grow up about. I apologize to God because when they were younger, I let them watch those kind of movies with me. And I pray constantly that they're out of it, because there is a such thing as generational curses.
That's right.
It will pass down.
That's right.
I won't name any names. I want somebody about video games right now. Gotta watch that stuff. It'll get in your spirit. So I know that I had that fear in me from a young child. I had 40 years of it. You can just honestly say I was full of it. So the enemy did not have to look far to find a weapon for me. I already had it. I had fear. So he just amplified it. I often think of the enemy, the devil, Satan, as an amplifier. If your money's low, you think you have no money. I just have nothing. You know, if you're hungry, you act like you're starving. You go to the doctor and the doctor tells you, you know, well, we need to do a biopsy. Oh, I have cancer. He just amplifies everything. And what if you did have cancer? We serve a God that can heal. Amen. We just got to serve Him, follow Him, pray, put it in His hands, and let Him take care of it. So, but again, at the time, I didn't know all that. And what finally got me through it was I had a night, well, two things. During that time, I heard Bishop Z, he wasn't Bishop then, but he was a pastor, and he spoke on 2 Timothy 1:7, that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And when I was at my worst, when I was crying and terrified, and on the floor of my room thinking, God, please help me, because by then I knew God, you know, didn't have all the information, but I knew Him, and I called on Him, and I would repeat to myself over and over, God has not given me a spirit of fear. God has not given me a spirit of fear. And He had. I gave me a spirit of fear. Well, that mess I took in, amen? But I was praying against it, and the power of the tongue is a mighty thing. Proverbs 18:21 tells us, the power of life and death is in your tongue. What you say you will become. Paraphrasing it, but that's really what it means. So I would speak that every day. Every day. He's given me power. What? Godly power. Dunamis power. Love. I have the love of Christ in my heart. And a sound mind. A mind that can think coherently and in a balanced way. But still I'm going through this fear. It was, that verse was a, like wearing a, what do you call the thing when you get in the water and it keeps you afloat? Thank you. And I hung on to it for all I was worth. Amen. So finally one night, everything came to a head. It was just screeching and noises and shadows and this. I went to curl up in the center of my bed. I was in a fetal position, and this, I felt it, whatever it was, demon, sit on the bed, and I just felt like I couldn't even stay in my own skin. And I started to scream out, if this is what it means to be saved. And the very next sentence was one of two. Then I give up. And thank God I didn't choose that. Instead I chose, I'm going to hang on that much harder. Amen? I was not giving, because here's the other thing of it. If the devil was going to fight that hard, there must be something awfully awesome about being saved if he was that kind of worried about it. Amen? So, and he came over, and when I say clean house, first of all, he brought the holy oil. And that's another thing I used to make fun of olive oil. That, you know, I thought it was silly. He brought that over, he prayed, he put it over the windows, the doorposts, and he walked through the house with me and threw out every single thing that came anywhere close to demons, witches, ghosts, warlocks, spells, any of that mess. He threw it in the garbage, all of it. Actually, your uncle threw out a couple of toys that looked a little demonic, but I don't think they ever missed it, so hey, whatever. But we got rid of that. So we cleaned house. Amen? And that's when, after that experience, that I began to really, really take God seriously. Let's find out what this thing is all about. What's it really mean to be saved? What's Romans 10:9-13 really mean? What's it really mean to call on the name of the Lord? You call on God's authority to run your life. It's not just words. It's something we live by. And it makes your life so much easier when you get there. Amen? You just got to give it a try. And I think about, is it 1 Peter 5:8? Be well balanced. Be sober and vigilant. Because the enemy walks about our adversary like a roaring lion, seeking whom he can devour. He don't play. He's on his game 24/7. So it's up to us who know enough. I mean, when I was an atheist, nothing bothered me. Why should it? I was going to hell. It's that simple. But once you fall in love with God, once you turn your life over, once you accept Jesus, you are an enemy of the enemy too. But it doesn't have to be fear. That was my experience. It could be anything. Drugs, sex. I tell you, give up alcohol, and the next day, bottles of booze just flying out the windows. You know, he'll make it easy for you to turn you away. But I can tell you that once you get on God's path and stay there, he opens up such miracles, such love, such compassion, so many things. I wrote all my life. Even before I knew how to write, I would scribble. I've always been in love with paper and pen. And I had a dream to be a writer, but I had so low self-esteem and no confidence and was so fearful and so upset and angry too. I never thought I could write a book. My book's in Barnes and Noble. That's a big deal. I didn't worry about the New York Times. It's published. That happened through God. As a matter of fact, my first article was published after I started typing. There's so many keys God gives us in the Bible. All we have to do is put them to use. And I got to tell you, everything in this book is not scary. Some things are just outrageously funny. Because I had spent so many years, I guess, as an atheist is one reason. I was someone who was quick to question every single thing. You know, if Bishop preached on fasting, don't eat. What's that do? I was just very sarcastic. Thank God he didn't give up on me. But some of the things he showed me were really just hysterically funny. Some brought me to tears. Some saved my life, as in the fear. And what it all showed me is that God is the same God today as he was yesterday, as he will be tomorrow. He's still a miracle worker. He's still with us every single day. We don't just turn to him when we're in trouble, turn to him all the time, because he's always there and he can make things happen. He does work miracles. I believe some of us experience miracles and we get so used to stuff we don't even know it is a miracle. Just the fact that I'm standing here breathing and talking to you, this is a miracle. This is a miracle. You're here, it's a miracle. You can sing, the young ladies ever sing. These things are miracles, amen?